You know, sometimes I feel like a janitor with all these keys. But on a serious note, I'm not the one using them. These are just copies of not even all the keys. But in this video, I want to break down a little bit further one of these specific points that I referenced in my 2022 goals video, where for the first time in 3 years, I kind of publicly shared exactly what I'm looking to do while sharing financials and some numbers behind that. So if you haven't checked out that video, I will leave it linked below. It was definitely a good one. A lot of people enjoyed it. But in this video, I want to explain exactly how I'm going to go from 30 to 60 doors of rental real estate. Now, it's kind of a lie because right now I don't actually have 30 doors. As of when I'm filming and posting this, I am in the closing process of some much bigger properties. So right now I'm actually closing on 23, which will put me over 30 doors. And those properties should be closing here in the next 2 weeks. So I will keep you updated as those processes take place. I expect to close on time. Everything is looking good. So my goal every single year, as you might have seen in my 2022 goal video with real estate specifically, is to double. Now, I'm going to pull out the whiteboard here in a second, but with the compounding effect, it becomes very difficult to, in certain situations, fund the deal, find the deal, set up the deal, and do all of that while managing my actual businesses, because that is just a side investment that I would love to grow into a main thing, but at the end of the day, it's purely a smaller focus. So it's something I've spent a lot of time and a lot of energy learning. I have a huge passion for it, but I want to go from the 30 doors that'll be closing before the end of January. So I'm considering going into this year with 30. While technically I did double during the year, I really count those for the previous year, even though I did double as well in last year. So whatever. The goal by the end of the year is 60 units. Honestly, I think we can beat that, but let me break down the math and show you exactly what's needed to hit a target like this. So we got the whiteboard. The average price per door that I can pick up in my current market is rapidly approaching $200,000. Now, I'm a bargain hunter, but I'm not someone who doesn't understand the growth of real estate. There's a lot of people who lose out on big deals, $1 million deals, over like a $10,000 or $20,000 difference. And like I always say, I think it's something I picked up from someone, and it's just so true. If the deal doesn't work because of a $10,000 difference, then the deal didn't work to begin with. So if I am picking them up at $150,000 per door, which is kind of the minimum, I just bought it $146,000 in the prime market. I'm also trying to buy stuff in the secondary market where I can pick it up for about $100,000. It's about 45 minutes outside of the main area that I like to purchase in. So at $150,000 a door, here's the simple math. 30 units, and this is assuming, I don't think I can find 30 units, probably 2 properties around 150. I mean, that would be a steal. But let's assume 30 units, and this is only if I'm buying in my market. I do plan to expand into a different market, one other market that I will talk about in another video. Let's just take these simple numbers. That would be $4.5 million worth of real estate. Now, I could do the Dave Ramsey model. Actually, I couldn't. I don't have the cash sitting to do this. In theory, I could do the Dave Ramsey model of paying cash and buying a $4.5 million property and picking up 30 doors that way. However, that's just not within my model. And while I'm not one to try and put zero down, I like to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, so that means I'm going to be leveraging this at about 25% down. So my money only needs to be about 25% of that, which, as you guessed it, you're pretty good at math, just over 1.1 million, give or take. Now, some properties, it really depends on the property type, the lender, as well as the underwriting that I'm doing on the property, which means my analysis of what the numbers will be. Sometimes I have to put 30% down. Other times there's lenders that want to give me all the way to 20% down. Like on an 88 unit that I was under contract on and backed out for multiple reasons, well, the debt that had been proposed and was right in front of me, and it was a real offer for that debt, was an interest-only period at 3.5%, where I only needed to put, if I wanted to, 20% down, and the numbers worked well at that number. So I can modify this a little bit, but that's a rough average. So this means I need to allocate about $1.1 million into real estate this year. Now, I personally think that I'm going to buy multiple properties that are more expensive than $150,000 per door, and I'm also going to buy a lot that are less. It really just depends on what the growth is. I am in the Phoenix market area in something known as the Valley, which, if you're familiar with Arizona, that's your Phoenix, Scottsdale, Tempe, Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler, Santan, that entire location, and anywhere around there, even potentially out to Buckeye. But there's secondary markets further around that where it is cheaper. But in the prime markets, we are constantly seeing transactions above $200,000 per door. And I've been saying this for a year and a half. I kept telling people, buy this, buy this. I sent a link to someone who really wanted to get in real estate. I sent him a fourplex. It was $460,000. $460,000. So it was like $115,000 a door, and it was cash flowing great. You had so much room to increase the rents. That was actually, it was only a year ago. That was in the beginning of 2021. They didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. I was in Puerto Rico busy with other stuff. Stupid me, should have bought it. Well, that property today is worth about $700,000. So not only would you be cash flowing probably $1,800 to $2,000 a month, so you'd be like a 15% cash on cash minimum. You also would have picked up about $300,000 in equity. So I've been saying it. We are rapidly approaching $200,000 a door here in the Phoenix market. We are constantly seeing fourplexes transact, and I'm going to give you a real number here in a second for something I'm selling. My first property I'm selling. We're constantly seeing fourplexes transacting in the 700s. I know a friend who has one under contract. He's buying at 720, which is crazy. Other people who are trying to sell them in the 850 range. We did see one transact at 800 that was a slightly larger bedroom count. So we will see, but larger properties that are, it's an institutional type asset, 200 units, 300 units, even down to 50 or 30 units, you're seeing stuff at 200 a door because it's more units in one spot, and that's more valuable. It's easier for somebody to come in and just buy it all at once. So as promised, under the number for my property, I'm actually selling a duplex. And while it is in a very prime specific area of a prime market, I'll say it, it's my duplex in Tempe, Arizona. If you happen to know the market, it's less than a mile off of Mill. It is like, you cannot replace this property. It is like the perfect duplex. Anybody wants it. I put it on the market within 24 hours. Many offers were under contract above list at $560,000. Now to put it in comparison, about 4 months ago, I picked up a fourplex, so double the doors in almost as prime of an area, also for $560,000. So I'm selling a property that I bought for $375 at $560, which means I'm selling that duplex at over $230,000 a door. That's crazy. So you see, we're already achieving that number. And while I think that the 4 units and less can achieve a slightly higher premium in certain regards because people can do conventional financing, which makes it easier, well, we're still going to see that moved into the commercial. And honestly, we already are. So my goal is just to stick around this number, honestly, in the Valley. And if anybody out there wholesales or whatever, I'll buy pretty much any multifamily under 100 units that is anywhere near $150,000 a door, primary 2-bedroom units, and is in decent condition. Like, I mean, I'm not worried about like a roof or whatever. So it's going to be fun. And that's my goal, to double the doors. A lot of people wanted a breakdown on it. So that is what I'm going to need. I'm going to need about 1.1 million. I'm guessing it's going to be anywhere from like 1 to 1.5 million needed to flow back into the down payments to achieve that goal of hitting 60 units of rental real estate. Now, that would put me at a total portfolio value of just under $10 million, which I think is super solid. Now, multiple single family homes are inside that portfolio, which kind of dilute the per door price. But the goal is just to be scaling with multifamily moving forward. So we'll do that. Next year, we'll do 120. Who really knows? Just consistently scaling. And I want to point out that this is all without outside capital. I do think at some point I will start a fund, but it won't be a public fund. There's different 506Bs, 506Cs. You see what a lot of people are doing. Grant Cardone has multiple for accredited as well as non-accredited investors. People like Ryan Pineda here on YouTube are also running public funds where they can raise money from people. That would personally not be my strategy. My strategy would be, nobody knows I have a fund except for people very close to me. It would be just raising private money from my inner circle, which actually makes it easier from a legal structure perspective. And eventually that's something I will do, but I really want to nail my concept first because it's been working super well, and I just want to scale my portfolio since I can. But at some point when you're leveraging, you will run out of money. If you're making $1 million a year, 5 million, 10 million, if you're leveraging and maxing it out, you're going to run out of money, even if you're a billionaire. So taking on outside capital can be a good way to grow that. So I'll explore that option down the road, but I just wanted to break it down. So if you're looking forward to following along for this journey, I will hit 60 doors. I will. It's not that difficult. I mean, there's people picking up 1,000 units, 10,000 units a year. It's crazy. So 60 doors, that's the target. We're going to close on, I guess, about 50 this year, technically. So I'll keep you updated with these properties. Make sure to drop a like. Don't forget to follow me over on my Instagram page. That's where I post updates when I'm getting new properties. I show you when I'm doing inspections. I actually bring you inside the property as well. So be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel too, because I do more walkthroughs and deal breakdowns and also talk about my other companies. All right. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.